In today's session, we are going to cover tuple, strings, set, and dictionary. These are topics we are going to see problem solving questions on these things. So I guess you people are familiar with the concept, right? So what are the functions are there, and what is tuple, what is string, what is set, and what is dictionary? I guess you people are clear with it. Okay, now let us have a small discussion about these things, then we'll move on further. So when I say list, list is mentioned by using bracket. So is list mutable or immutable? List is mutable by nature or immutable by nature? You can ping your answer in chat box. Okay, good, Harry, good. Nikhil, check with your answer. Vagdevi, check with your answer again. By default, list is mutable by nature, guys. It is not immutable, it is mutable. What is mutable in the sense? It is changeable. So once declared, it is not a freezed one. I can able to change the list whenever required. The value, if I want to remove some value, that's possible. If I want to do some modification, I want to insert some value, where inserting, append operation, all those things is possible in list. List is mutable by nature, changeable by nature. Okay, speaking about the next one is tuple. So when I say tuple, tuple is mentioned by using notation, parenthesis, and whether tuple is mutable or immutable by nature. What about tuple? Good. Tuple is by default immutable. It is not mutable, it is immutable. So once declared is declared. If at all you want to do some modification or changes, it is not possible. So you can do only one changes. You can able to completely delete the tuple. Okay, it is not possible to change, do one element modification. Complete deletion is possible in case of tuple. And next is all about strings. Strings is given with the notation. For strings, either you can make use of single quotes for your notation, or it can be done with double quotes. These two is for your single line declaration. If you want to initialize your value in a single line, I can make use of it. If at all you want to initialize multiple line declaration, either you can go with triple single quotes, or you can make use of triple double quotes. These are the different kinds of initialization which is possible for a string. So what about string? Whether string is mutable by nature or immutable by nature? So we know that all those values are used for storing group of elements. The future and the way of declaring varies. Strings are mutable. Think to it, or immutable. What is this all about? Guys, this future I'm discussing, since these futures are very important, even though it is a single line saying mutable and immutable, you'll be getting MCQ question on it. Okay. Harsha, check with your answer again. Gayatri, you too. Good. Teja, good. Joshna, good. Yes. By default, strings are immutable by nature, guys. It is not mutable. Strings are immutable by nature. We can't able to change it. So what is that immutability? And we people are keep on speaking about immutability, right? Here, immutability in the sense, for example, let us assume there is a name called Ram, R-A-M. Okay, now I want to modify this R to S. Shall we do it? If you want to access the if you mention name of 0, it means that R. So if you want to modify R to S, what happened? It will throw you error where this particular doing changes in the existing data is not at all possible. This is all about your immutability. Okay, once declared is declared, you can't able to change it. You can do the same string with some other operation like Ram and Sam. Okay, here what happened? You're doing concatenation of it and you're storing it. This is possible. But doing changes here, it is not possible. Okay, doing changes at the one particular position is not possible. That is the reason we are saying that it is immutable by nature. Once declared is declared. Okay, this immutability and mutability property is very much important in case of these types, guys. And next is, we people are going to see with, this is done, and next is set. So when I mention set, so the set is notation by using braces. Whether set is a mutable or immutable by nature? Is set is mutable or immutable? Come on, think to it. These are just basic question, guys. Features of a collection type. What about set? Good. You'll be getting either mutable or immutable. What is that? Good. Set is by default mutable by nature. Okay. How will you declare an empty set? If you want to declare an empty set, can I declare directly like curly braces? If I declare like this, what happens? If I declare some element like my set, and if I use empty curly braces, what is this my set? What is the type of it? Good, Nigel. Good. Good, Srihari. Good. So type of this is by default, it is a dictionary type. So if I give braces, we know that braces is for your set. But when I provide just empty braces mention only dictionary. Got it? It doesn't mean that a set. So if I give type of this, type of my set, we know it is of dictionary type. So if at all I want to declare an empty set, we are supposed to mention set of. So this is a set function. We are supposed to make use of it if you want to declare an empty set. So this is the important property. And apart from this, one of the important property which is available only in set is set will allow only unique value by default. Set will never allow duplicate. Set will allow only unique value. So this is the default nature of your set, guys. And apart from this, the last one is dictionary. So if at all you want to declare a dictionary, I'll be using braces. What about braces? Whether it is, sorry, ma, what about dictionary? Is that immutable or mutable? Dictionary. Is it mutable or immutable by nature? Good. Good, Girijarani, good. Where in case of dictionary, where keys are immutable. Okay, keys are immutable and values are mutable. Got it. Keys are immutable by nature and values are mutable. When you're coming with your dictionary, we'll have key value pairs, isn't it? Where your keys are immutable and your values are mutable. This is all about your dictionary. So keep these points in mind. These are very important point all about the definition of these types. Okay. I guess now you people are clear with each and everything. Now we'll move on further. If at all you have any doubt, you can ping your doubts here. Okay. Keys are immutable by nature and your values are mutable by nature. And your values are mutable. Fine. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. So before moving on to problem statement, yesterday when you're discussing about accepting multiple inputs, one of your friends has asked me that how can I accept multiple inputs? If you want to accept multiple input, we can accept like this by using map, right? So we can accept like if you want to accept a list of value, we can accept list of map followed by the function name integer, comma, input dot split based on spaces. This we people know it, right? So if you want to print this number, you can call this number. So as many values I'm giving 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So what happened? All the values will be accepted and stored as a list. But what is the question asked is, if the user want to restrict the input, I'm giving 6 inputs, I don't want 6 input. So we are supposed to accept only 5 inputs from the user. We are supposed to accept it through the map in a single line like this, how it is possible. So here in this concept, we can go ahead with the slicing. So if you want to accept a list, but I don't want to accept all the input whatever user is giving, I want to restrict my input by using map. Here I can't able to give for loop. If at all you're going to accept input through for loop, we know that the loop will be executed 5 times or 6 n times. So you can able to accept those many inputs. But in case of map, that is not a case. I can accept as many input I wanted. Just by giving spaces, it can be done. But the number, whatever it is going, list whatever it is going to assign, should not take all the values. Only the specific number of values has to be taken. For this, you can make use of slicing along with your mapping concept, guys. Okay, for example, let me tell you here. So let us accept my n value. So if at all your question is like this, you're supposed to accept 3 values from the user. So what I can do is I can slice my input like this. So if I give like this, what happened? First is your n value, number of inputs to be accepted, 3. And second step is accepting input. This is your first step, guys, and this is your second step, accepting input for using for this list. So let me give some random value, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Let me give more values here. But as per the scenario, what is the question? You're supposed to take only 3 values from the list. First 3 values has to be taken. So if you want to do this one, we can do it by using slicing concept. We can't able to restrict the user input, but user can give as many as input he wants. But when you're executing this scenario, what happened? Only the first 3 value will be taken and will be assigned for a list called number. Is this clear, guys? How to restrict the input while you're accepting by using map. Is it clear for everyone? Those are general input cases, guys. Input cases, you're supposed to concern with it. You can able to restrict your input based on number of elements you wanted. Okay, this is the techniques you can use in your programming. Okay, fine. We'll move on to the problem solving scenarios. If just let me discuss one by one. If at all the question is discussed already in your class, you can let me know. I'll move on to the next question. Okay. The first question you're going to see based on tuple. Did you discuss this question, guys? Just concatenation of consecutive element in a tuple. Have you came across this question already? If at all you came across, just give me yes so that I can proceed to next one. If it is no, we'll discuss about this. So this question is all about, let me read the question. No, right. Okay, fine, fine. Let me read the question once. Listen carefully. Aryan taught Soumya tuple concept in the Python programming. Now he wants to check whether she understood the tuple concept clearly or not. For that, he has given a task to Soumya to take a tuple T. So tuple T is taken and print the resultant tuple after concatenating consecutive element in tuple. So you're supposed to take a tuple T and we are supposed to print it by concatenating the consecutive element in the tuple. Okay, so let me scroll little down for test cases. So what is your input is this could be your input, that is your tuple T. Tuple T is your input and this is the expected output. So what is the output here is you're supposed to join these two one and print it. Hi ABC, ABC, hello, hello XYZ. This is the output required. Concatenating consecutive element in a tuple. I'll post this question in the chat box. People, those who want to scroll up and down, you can chat, you can scroll in your chat box. You can read your question as per your convenient. Okay, just give me a minute. I'll post this question in the chat box. Okay, those who want it, you can scroll the question up and down. You can read the question carefully and you can start doing program for it. So first you should accept a tuple input like this. Then you are supposed to go with the concatenation of it. Start doing. If at all you have any doubt, you can let me know, guys. Make it bit faster, okay? Hurry, one by one code is coming here. Just try to type in your, okay, it's fine, it's okay. Okay, Sri Hari, good. Make it bit faster, guys. Okay. Just now one by one answers are popping. Avinash. Okay. Good, Avinash. Good. Krishna. Good. Krishna. Good. Who else has sent? Venkat. Good. Venkat. Good. Pavan. What you made? Just a minute. Pavan, this should be tuple. Input should be accepted as tuple. Okay, you made it as a list comprehension, right? Try to do it as a tuple type. It is not a list. Mohammed declare it in a input format. Okay. Mohammed, this input is not a fixed input, Mohammed. They can give other test case also. Okay, if some other test case is given, it should satisfy, not only for those 4 values. If they change the input, your program should work. Either they'll make it as 5, instead of 4 values, hi, ABC, hello, XYZ, they can give 5 values also. Bharat. Good, Bharat, good. What is Bharat? Why to complicate this much? Instead of using map itself, normally here it is a comma separated input, right? So split it based on comma. If this input is a comma separated input, split it based on comma, then you can go ahead further. Okay, good, Venkat, good. You did it by using generator also. Okay, fine, good. Shall we discuss it? Vatsalya. Good, Vatsalya, good. Come on, shall we discuss? Or are you people still trying it? Let me know. We'll discuss it, right? Good. Listen here. So you're going to accept the tuple, right? So you'll mention T assign tuple of input. So input, okay, input dot split based on comma separated. So done. Okay. So just let me print and show you first, then we can go ahead further. Hi, hello, ABC, XYZ. So what happened? The given input is taken as a tuple type. I have seen that many people has converted as a string type, all those things. Those things are not required. Okay. Directly you can make it as this particular type, then you can able to make it as directly you can split based on comma, then you can make it as a tuple type. But guys, make sure that you're splitting the data based on comma since the input is given as a comma type. I notice this logic in your program. So if you can check it again with your logic alone. Okay, so are you splitting based on comma? So after splitting based on comma, what is the next requirement you're supposed to see to it? You're supposed to see to it how the combination is formed. 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 4. Okay, so going from 0th position to 3rd position is sufficient, not as required. We are not supposed to go to the last position. The reason is if I go to the last position, there is no more pair with the last element. So we are supposed to stop with the ABC itself so that I can able to form this pair. So now we'll write the looping condition to iterate it. So how the looping condition is you're going to write by mentioning for I in range of, okay, I can make use of len of tuple minus 1. Got it? Already len of tuple will come only till this. So when I mention minus 1, it will go only till this. The reason I told you, you're not supposed to go to the last element. If you go to the last element, what happens? The combination will go with index out of range. So we don't want that to happen. We can mention this one. And here what you're supposed to, you're supposed to take, if this is your ith position, what you're going to do is you're going to add with the I plus 1 position, right? So you're going to add it and you're going to place the data in a result. So here we know that tuple is immutable by nature. They are non-changeable. So what you can do is you can store the data in a list. Then you can able to typecast it later on as a tuple type. Now what you can do is you can mention it as list dot append of what you want to add this date, what we are supposed to add the first data here. Hi ABC, right? So hi is in the ith position and ABC is in the next position, which is nothing but T of I plus 1 position. So this data is added. So right now this is a tuple, the list type. So we are supposed to typecast it. So print it as print tuple of LST. So we'll give XY Z A P C 1 2 3 and MNO. Any data, whatever you're giving, is treated as a string type, right? So what happened? The data is concatenated, it's displaying like this. Is this clear? I could see Vinay has written multiple types. Yeah, you're given all the possible types, Vinay, isn't it? Is this clear for everyone, guys? So if at all you want this one to be written, even you can write the same program as a generator concept also. Okay, in case of generator concept, writing all the statement in a single line will comes under the generator concept. Here you can mention like this. You can write this program. The same program can be written in a single line by mentioning, just a minute. Guys, just a minute, ma. Guys, sorry for the interrupt. So the same program, what you can do is you can write it as a comprehensive way. So like this. So this is all about a generator, ma. Okay, you can write, just a minute. Let me give some meaningful name. So it seems to be tuple comprehension. This is not a tuple comprehension. This is a generator concept. Okay, ABC, XYZ, 1, 2, 3, LMO. So the same concept where you can write in a single line. This concept is all about generator. So what is that, ma? What is your doubt? Just a minute. So for I in T and for I in length of, okay. Okay, third and fourth line of which Saran? This one you're expecting for these two. Okay, fine. Just a minute. I'll clarify all your doubts. Give me a minute. So here, what you're doing here is, so if I have this one, what is this all about? This is all about your this input date. Just a minute, ma. Just a minute. Just a minute. So this is your input you're giving from. This is the input given from the user. So when the input is given from the user, this input will be accepted like this. Okay, every data is a string type. It will be accepted like this. And here, what you are doing is we are supposed to form the combination. So we are supposed to form the combination. What is len of t? If I give len of t, what happened? 1, 2, 3, 4. So len of t is taken 4. So this loop will execute till 4 minus 1. So what is the range condition we have mentioned here? The range will be mentioned like this. So range will be mentioned like range of starting from 0 till 3. So this is a range condition. So we have 4 elements, but I have told you only 3. So if I say 3, so it will go execute only till 2, isn't it? If I say 3, so this element will execute only till 0 to 2. The reason is it will execute n minus 1. The given number minus 1 will be the end range. This is your end value. We know it. This is our range works. So what is the reason we can giving this 4 minus 1 is we are supposed to form a combination like XY ABC and ABC 1 2 3 and 1 2 3 MNO, isn't it? So here 0 0 1. So second step 1 and 2. Third step 2 and 3, isn't it? I can't able to go ahead with 3 and 4 because the reason is I don't have fourth value, right? So I don't have fourth value here. So it is necessary for me to stop to the second index itself. That is the reason we are given as len of t minus 1. Okay, and each and every iteration what you are doing here is we are taking the first value, ith value. At the first iteration, what is the I value? 0. So 0 and 0 plus 1, these two is taken. It is added, concatenation is happening. These two are added and is pushed inside my list. We have an empty list, we are adding the data to it. At a second iteration, your I value will become as 1. So now what happened? 1 and 1 plus 1, 2 will be taken. So ABC 1, 2, 3 will be added, pushed inside a list. And for a next iteration, 1, 2, 3, MNO will be taken and these will be pushed inside a list. So got it. This is how the data is pushed inside the list one by one. So are you clear with the third and the fourth line? And one more doubt has asked. Charan, is it clear? Okay, and one more doubt. Who asked? Chalni, what is that? You mentioned it, right? So here, if you ask the difference between for I in T and for I in here, this is all about. So Charlie, listen here. If I mention for I in T, what happened? One by one element will be iterated from my tuple. Guys, both the things are not same. For example, let us have just a minute, ma. So let us have a tuple as you say hi ABC XYZ. So let us have a tuple for I in T. If I mention like this, what happened? One by one element will be taken and it will be iterated. So this is all about for I in T. If I mention for I in range of len of T, what happened? Len of T will be the integer value. Okay, so what happened here? So by default, it'll take a range value 0 till length of this list. Length of this list is 3. So what happened? 3 in the sense it will execute n minus 1. So C 0, 1, 2 is taken. So len of T will take the index value and this T will iterate the element in the list. This is the difference between your tuple and mentioning len of T. Both the elements are different, guys. Different. It is not same. Mentioning like this will iterate your element in your tuple and this will deal with your length of it, some integer value. This is all about iteration of elements in your tuple. So don't confuse with these two, okay? The functional, based on the functionality, if it is required to iterate all the elements, make use of for int. If at all you want to deal with the index position, then go ahead with the range function with len of it. Okay, is it clear? And what is your doubt? Others, you want to Harry, you want to explain the generator concept? Okay, Harry. Okay, fine. Generator concept is, it looks similar to your comprehension, right? So normally we used to have a comprehension like this. Generator is a big concept, ma. Right now it is not possible to explain here. So let me tell you what's the syntax of it. Here you will have your expression, whatever the expression you want to do it, you'll have your expression followed by your iteration. Followed by your iteration. The question I have posted in the chat box, you can able to see it. If you want, I'll repeat it again. Okay, followed by your iteration. So this iteration is happened and expression is done. Okay, this expression is done and followed by the data is converted as a tuple type. For how many iteration is done for each and every iteration, this operation has been taken place. The exact syntax of it is almost, it is similar to like this, ma. So you're going to have a, just a minute, it got cut here. So you'll be having expression. We are not having any comprehension here in case of tuple. Inside this, the syntax is like expression followed by your iteration. Okay, you're going to iterate it and you're going to form the expression and you're supposed to implement it here. Okay, this is all about it. Yeah, you can write in a single line also, no need of using loop here. Okay, guys, those who want to see the question, just have a glance of this question. The glance of this question is all about concatenating consecutive element in tuple. So consecutive element in your tuple is given. We are supposed to concatenate it one by one. So those who want it again, let me post this question in a chat box. Okay, you can read it. Shall we move on to the next question? Shall we move on to next one? I guess you people are clear, right? Is there any doubt in it? Okay, fine. So dictionary, I didn't paste any question. Okay, I'll bring some question here. Okay, look at here. So your next concept is string. Okay, in string, the question is all about reversing a string. Question is very simple, reversing a string. Here the tricky part what I kept is, you are not supposed to reverse the, when I say string, a string can have symbols and followed by a characters, right? So we are supposed to reverse a string except special character. Special character should be placed at the same position. Apart from this, all the other characters should be reversed. Clear with the question? Reversing a string except special character. Guys, is the question clear? Fine. Here, special character in this is any character, guys. Any characters are apart from the integer and character, all the other characters taken as a special character. Yeah, Charan, it is used for all. I guess you people are came across regular expression, right? So in your career, in the last session, you might have came across regular expression. If at all you want, you can make use of regular expression here, or you can go ahead with your string function. It's completely up to you. Do the program by using regular expression or string function, ma. Make it faster. Colon -1. Let me tell you what happens here. So if the given string is hello, as per that should not be reversed, your special character should be at the same position. This is your question, right? So then how come this will work? If you want to reverse the entire string, then it's fine. Your question is not all about it. No way you're supposed to go ahead with the regular expression or filtering your special character separately or alphabet separately. You're supposed to go ahead with this condition. This is a hint I can give for you. Think to it. So what you did, just a minute. Good. Good, Chalni, good. Make it faster, guys. Srihari. Okay. Srihari, the range what you have taken is 97 to 122, isn't it? Okay, not in. But all the numbers doesn't fall under this one. There is certain range for it. Okay, this logic is fine, but try to filter out the range condition. So if at all you're going to go ahead with the range, then you should know the range for the special character. So we doesn't have any sequence of special character. So if you concern about the lowercase, then same also you're supposed to concern about the uppercase alphabet also. Exceptions are there, right? Okay, fine, fine. But good thinking. I do appreciate it. Good. Okay, try to it. Make it faster. Just a minute. Let me look into it. N of I, not in K. Okay. Venkat, is that K dot reverse, K dot insert, all those things are inside your for loop or outside your for loop? How it is like? Inside your loop. Okay. Inserting at the position. Okay, fine, fine. Good. Guys, shall we discuss? Let me know, are you people still trying or shall we discuss? Come on, respond me. You want few more time to try it? Two minutes, okay. Okay, I'll wait for a few more minutes. Okay, I'll wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Try to it. Make it bit faster, ma. Okay. Then. So since you people asked time, have I given? Okay, fine. Listen here, don't worry. I'll tell you what are the possible options. Okay, and I'll tell you which one is the best one. So first, the general approaches. So if at all people are going to think about the range of values. So range of values in the sense the special characters has certain range. The range in the sense specifically we don't have any sequential special character range. So we do have a fragments of ranges like 32 to so we know I guess you people came across ASCII value, right? For each and every character in your keyboard has a ASCII value. The same way special characters has ASCII value ranging from 32 to 47 and the other ranges 58 to 64. The other ranges 91 to 96 and 123 to 126. These are the ranges of ASCII value for your special character. So either you can do your program by using this ranges of your ASCII value, or you can go ahead with your normal operation by using regular expression or by using your functions, split functions. So if at all you people are going to make use of your split functions, either you can make use of is digit. By using each digit function, you can able to filter out the values. So if at all you're going to make use of regular expression, then you can go with your find all option. It's up to you, either by using find all condition, by using regular expression, you can able to implement it. This is one approach. And other approaches, either by using is digit, which is this particular function is digit or is alphanumeric So we do have functions like this in case of your string, right? So in case of string, we do have nearly 40 or 50 functions are there. You should methods, not functions, methods. You should be aware of those methods which will help you to implement this program. Okay. So here, if at all you are using is digit or is right here, we are taking with alphabet, right? So you can go with is alpha. You can filter out the alphabet. You can take other values. So you can make use of is alpha here for filtering the alphabets. Right now, I'll go with the best approach, which is regular expression. So whenever you want to, you're searching for a pattern. So mainly for pattern matching, you'll go with the regular expression. So we'll see this implementation by using regular expression. Okay. So if you want to implement regular expression, the first thing that could strike in mind is you should import your regular expression module by mentioning import RE. We are supposed to import it. And after this, what you're supposed to, you're supposed to accept user input, right? So let me accept var as an input. The input is of string type. So no need of doing anything, accept directly. After this, what you're supposed to, we are supposed to segregate all the alphabet from the given all the alphabet or all the special characters, completely up to us guys. Okay, so if you want to separate alphabet, let us mention alpha, and I'll show you what how to implement both the element also. Re dot find all. If at all I want to segregate only alphabet, all the uppercase and lowercase, what we can do is the find all function accept two parameter. Your one parameter is your pattern, another parameter is your from which variable you're going to fetch it. So what are the elements you're going to fetch here? You're going to take the lowercase a to d, a to z, and your uppercase a to z is going to be fetched here. So if I mention alpha, what happened? Alpha will carry out all the alphabet, lowercase and uppercase will be stored in alpha. So if at all you want to take the special character, so let me mention SCP. So how can I fetch the special character here? So for special character, what you can do is you can mention one cap symbol. So one cap symbol along with the 0 to 9 can be added. We don't want integer also along with it, right? So you can add along with it. Now I'll print and show you what does alpha contain and what does your SPC contain. Then you can go with the logic guys. First you should know how to separate it. So if I mention like this, like H at the rate of EL $O LO. So if I give like this, you can notice here where the alphabets has been separated by this particular notation. And this, what is this one is, this is all about not symbol, not equal to, not matching, not in. This is all about not guys. So if I mention cap, what happened? Excluding lowercase to a to z, uppercase a to z, 0 to 9. So in your keyboard, if you are filtering these things, what is the remaining one? The remaining one is going to be obviously the symbols, right? So symbol is going to be fetched by using SPC. So after this, alpha. So if I print this alpha and SPC, you can notice that the list of alphabets and the special characters has been segregated. Till this, are the people clear? Do you have any doubt in it? You can let me know. I'll proceed further. Till this, are you clear, guys? A very simple logic. I didn't write much lines. In a single line, I did my logic here. So after this, we can go ahead with the program. Till this, are you clear? Yes, right, good. Now, we'll go ahead further. Now, what we are supposed to, we are supposed to reverse it. So we got the string right. So we can do one thing, we can reverse this. So you can mention alpha assign. Sorry, or I can directly mention alpha dot reverse. So just this alphabet will be reversed. And after this, I'm going to do one operation, iteration for I in range of my original string. So range of my length of my original string. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to iterate my original string. In each and every iteration, what I'm going to check is if my val of just a minute. If my val of I not in your special character. So not in your val of I, not in your alpha. So just if I mention like this, what happens? This particular list, if this is your given data. So let us assume this is your given data. So what happens? This will be a character by character. We are going to iterate it, right? So first H will be taken and I'll check whether H is there in my alpha. Alpha consists of HELLO. Yes, it is there. Second iteration, what happened? At the rate will be taken and I'll check whether at the rate is in alpha. If it is not there in alpha, then what you're supposed to do is we are supposed to insert at the position where the alpha is. So what you can do is you can insert it by mentioning alpha. Sorry, ma, not alpha. It is all about just a minute, just a minute. Yes, alpha dot insert of the concerned position, ith position, comma, your val of I. I guess you people are following me. Okay. So your work is done. For each and every iteration, I'm going to take it. First H will be taken. I'll check whether H is there in my alpha. It is there. So this condition will not be satisfied. Again, at the rate will be taken. I'll check whether at the rate is there in my alpha. No, it is not there. If it is not there, what is the I value second time? So initially 0 is there. Now it will be 1. At the first position, val of I. Val of I is at the rate will be inserted. So you can notice that right now alpha is not hello. It is all about O, L, L, E, H. Since we reversed it, this is a reverse condition. So what happened at the position, at the first position, this at the rate will be inserted. The same way, one by one character will be checked with your alpha. If it is not there at the concerned position of this where the character is there, the data will be inserted. At the end, what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to join this data and print it. Join your alpha. So we'll execute it. You can notice that the special characters doesn't changes. It remains at the same position. Only the string has been reversed here. Is this clear? Guys, just for this filtering condition, only 2 lines I wrote here. And logic is of 2 lines. If at all there is any doubt, you can let me know, guys. The same thing can be done by using is alpha also for filtering condition. So you want to know about the filter condition here. The filtering condition is all about, this is a syntax of your this one ma, regular expression. First is your pattern. What is the pattern you wanted and from which string you're going to fetch it. From the string called val, we are going to fetch it. And I want to fetch lowercase alphabet, uppercase alphabet. All the values will be fetched and be stored in the variable name called alpha. The same way here, what the condition I mentioned, the pattern I mentioned is lowercase alphabet, uppercase alphabet 0 to 9. But what happened? I've added one symbol called not operator. Not is similar to, this cap is similar to not A. So what does it mean? Except A. So here if I mention cap, what does it mean is not lowercase a to z, uppercase a to z, 0 to 9. Excluding this, all the other values will be taken. So in case of keyboard, excluding these values, what is the other value? Your special character is the other value. So all the special character will be fetched in the SPC and alphabet will be fetched here. Is this clear? Okay, fine. I guess you people are clear. I'll move on to the next question, ma. Okay. And the next question is all about anagram. Have you heard about anagram? Have you came across anagram? Just let me know. Yes, no, something. Yes, right. Did we discuss this program? Have we came across this already, this program? Come on, guys, respond me something. I could see everyone is being quiet. Hardly 4 or 5 response among 200. Have you came across it, or this is the first time you're doing this program? Okay, Gayatri, yes. Okay, fine. Okay, guys, the code is hardly a few lines only. We'll discuss it and we will move on to the next one. Okay, listen here. So the question is all about anagram. So what is this anagram here? Anagram in the sense, what does it mean is, sorry guys, all of a sudden stop sharing. Okay, anagram in the sense, so let me have a data ABC. So if this is your input, so if the input is given in any order, this is your, just a minute, ma. Your string 1 will be given S1 and S2. So let me consist of the second string is given like this. So I'm supposed to check whether string 2 is the anagram of string 1 or both the string is anagram. It means that, so whatever the alphabet you are writing, this order, this alphabet should be there in other string. It can be of any order. Kiran, we did it last time. Okay. Few members doesn't know this question, Kiran. Okay, we'll discuss this and we'll move on to the next one. Okay. Guys, anagram is all about the same string can be written in any order. So if some additional character is given along with it, I should display not an anagram. For example, some characters along with it, but all the characters there, some characters along with it, not an anagram. If the same number of characters is there, but it is given in any order, say then it is an anagram. Start doing this. Make it faster. We do have some interesting questions also. Apart from the normal question, here we do have some other question also. We'll discuss about this. Okay, fine. 2 input. Okay. Guys, I want the logic part alone. The logic part can be written in a single line or more than it. It's up to you. Make it faster. 2 input is accepted. Logic for your anagram. Make it faster, guys. We do have other interesting programs also. We can discuss those also, ma. Faster. I guess you people are clear with the logic of anagram. When a 2 string is said to be anagram, if the same string is written in any order, okay, the same number of characters should be there. It can be written any order. It is an anagram. We used to check for palindrome, right? If it is in a reverse order palindrome. Here the condition is the same string can be written any order. So you're supposed to say whether one string is an anagram of other. Good, good, Ranga, good. Sunil, if you're checking with the length, inner condition, okay, count. Joshna, Joshna, not only with the count, the alphabet might vary, right? Instead of B, if they give this I, what happens? Even the count will be same. 4 character will be same. So based on the count, we can't able to decide that this is an anagram or not an anagram. Just a minute, more messages are popping up. Give me a minute. Let me check it one by one. Okay. Ankit, in operator, okay. Ankit, this I and J will go in sequential manner only, right? This A and B are taking two strings, we are taking it, right? First, the first character of your first string and second, first character of your second string is taken and is compared. So directly the words are jumbled. If you're trying to do like this, you will never get the exact output. The words are jumbled. It is not a same sequence. Anil, good. Yes, length is different. It is not an anagram. Avinash, good. Rajit Chandar, good, 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 ma, good. Shall we discuss this one? Okay, fine. Listen. Here, we are going to apply the condition part, right? So I guess you people counted it, all those things you did it, right? It is not required to count all those things. Directly, you can go with the sorted function. Okay, I can apply if sorted of, I guess you people know about sorted. Sorted will give you the temporary sorted result. Sorted of S1 equals to a sorted of S2. If it is equal, then we are supposed to print. So I'm just making use of your ternary operator to make it compact. Then we are supposed to print anagram. Okay, else. Not anagram. A, B, C, B, C, D. It is so simple, right? No need of going, checking with the logic, all those things. You can work, complete your task very simple in a single line of process. Have a habit of using sorted. If at all you are using sorted, what happens? The data what you are given will be sorted and it will check for the equality. So after sorting, if the both the strings are equal, then anagram, not anagram. Sunil, if you are using sorted, it will Yeah, alphabet will be sorted based on ABC, alphabetical order, not only integer. Is this clear for everyone? I'll move on to the next question, guys. And next is also based on strings. Okay, just give me a minute. I'll take one more question based on dictionary, then we'll come for this question. Okay, if I take this question, half an hour I'll be completing. There's somewhat big question, just give me a minute, okay? I'll try to take some other question on dictionary type. Just a minute, guys. I thought I pasted it, but it didn't stick over. Just a minute, ma. Getting delay. Yeah, next question is all about dictionary comparison. Okay, look at this question. This question is based on your dictionary, ma. Okay, listen here. Your input is all about the first, like the question. There is no but particular scenario like this. Just given a direct question. You're going to compare two dictionary. Okay, so the given input is two. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to accept two dictionary. This is your input for your first dictionary. So this is the input for your first dictionary and this is your input for your second dictionary. Okay, so if the input is given as 2, you can notice that there is 2 element in each dictionary. So key value, this 2 indicates this 2 element. It doesn't mean that 2 dictionary, it means the number of elements in your dictionary. Okay, and after this, what you're going to do is you're going to accept input for this 2 dictionary. The first dictionary value is hi 123 xyz 788. The value of second dictionary is hi 890 QWE and 78. This is your input. So what is the expected output is? We are supposed to find the difference in dictionary. So you can notice that these two keys are same. So there is no difference. And for your second dictionary, you can notice that the key of this is XYZ and QWE. It is different. Okay, it is different. So you are supposed to display your output as 1. So the number of difference should be displayed as 1. Should be displayed that is 1. So just avoid this one. This is unnecessary typing here. Don't take this way. Clear? So you're supposed to compare two dictionary and display the difference. How many key value pairs are difference? So overall there is one difference in the dictionary. Since the particular number 2 is given number of elements to be accepted, it will be there. So all the dictionary will have only equal numbers of key value pairs. So there is no changes in the number of key value pairs of first dictionary 1 and dictionary 2. I want your input to be accepted in the same way. Start doing this program. So you want the question, okay, I'll post it in the chat box. I'll post it in the chat box. The question is all about dictionary comprehension. So comparison. Make it faster, a bit faster, ma. Make it faster. Here, you people should concern about how to accept two input and how to compare the keys here. Okay, listen, we'll discuss. It is running out of time. We'll discuss about this. Okay. Let me clear this. Listen, Yamma, we'll discuss this. First, we are supposed to accept. Here, first the input value should be accepted. So first, you are supposed to accept n value. That's the first value. So accept it. N assign int of input. So you're accepting input value for it and followed by it, enter number of elements. Just a minute, let me copy paste it. So after this, based on this value, your input is accepted. So you're supposed to mention for I in your range of n. And here we are going to make use of two dictionary, right? So let us declare dictionary 1 and dictionary 2. Two dictionary, let us declare it. So this is done. And followed by it, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to insert value for this dictionary. So what are the input you're supposed to accept? You're supposed to accept key and value. So we know that the given input is only of string type. So we can accept directly as key and value, guys. It is not required to mention as integer type here. So these two input is accepted. So enter first dictionary key. Then followed by enter first dictionary value. So after accepting these two values, these to be updated in your dictionary, right? So let us mention D1 of key assign value. Either you can do like this or you can go ahead with the update operation. It's completely up to you. Okay. Directly assigning this also works fine, or by using update, it's fine. So after doing this, the same process has to be done for the other dictionary, which is for your D2. So here, instead of this first, you're supposed to change it as second. Okay, this is done. So your dictionary 1 and dictionary 2 is filled with the value. So input operation is done, guys. Okay, and next is followed by this, what is the logic? I'm supposed to check the keys of it. So here now write the logic for it, and here I'm going to implement dictionary comprehension. So how to implement this dictionary comprehension? We know that the dictionary comprehension, we are supposed to iterate here dictionary 1 and dictionary 2. So let us mention for key in your D1. So generally, if you mention like this, what happened? The keys of your D1 is taken, and here I'm going to check with my condition. If key not in D2. So what I'm checking, taking the keys of D1, I'm checking whether it is in D2. If it is not there, then I'm going to store the key and the value of it. So value can be fetched by using dictionary of key. If you call it, we know that value will be fetched. So what happened? Each and every key is taken. It is checked with your D2. If it is not matching, if the value is not matching, then what happened? The particular key value pair is appended to the result dictionary. So this is all about your dictionary comprehension. So this is done. And after this, what you're supposed to do is, if at all the element is, we're supposed to print the integer value, right? So right now, let me print and show you the result. And later on, I'll print and show you the length of it, just for your better understanding. Length of your result. Guys, your logic is all about only single line of logic. Only one line of logic I'm writing. And followed by your length. So listen here, we'll start executing this program. So the number of element here is, what happened? Double quotes is missing somewhere, yes, here. We'll execute it. The number of elements is 2. So let me mention hi, 1, 2, 3, XYZ, 4, 5, 6. Then for a second input, hi, 5, 5, some values, then followed by M and O, some values. So what happens here is, you can notice that high and this high is matching. The mismatch value is XYZ and 4, 5, 6. So since I added only the values of dictionary 1, the mismatch value of dictionary 1 is added. So if there is one mismatch in a dictionary 1, the same number is going to be there in a dictionary 2 also. Since they are going to be in the same length, the length is not going to vary. Okay, it is going to be a same length only. And if you are printing the length of it, you can notice that the output is printed as 1 here. So there is one mismatch in it. Is this clear? Okay, fine. Okay, guys, we'll move on to the next question. This is all about your dictionary. And just a minute, give me a minute. So, can I give some question based on set also? Just give me a minute alone. Okay, guys, your next question based on set. Listen, yeah. Just a minute. Your question all about what I given is if your string 1 has the data hello and your string 2 has a data Python, I want my output like E and L. Sai Ganesh, your answer is right, but make sure that your output is printing in the same format what they are expecting. Okay, it should be in the format what they are expecting. First E, then L, in this order. Your logic is right, but make sure that your output is coming in the same sequence like this. If people are supposed to concern about that also, the output order. Here they are not saying alphabetical order, they mean is one by one. The reason is I didn't stress on alphabetical order. The reason you can notice that this smile is not in alphabetical order. The output should be displayed one by one. So we're going to accept two input, right? So let me give these two input directly. Just a minute, let me copy, paste it here. So as per you say, we can convert as a set. You can able to convert as a set and you can work on it. So we can mention set minus. You can able to subtract these two elements and you can able to store it in one more element. Like S3. Oh God, just a minute, guys. S3 assign set of S1 minus set of S2. So if you mention like this, then you print your S3, you can notice that you'll be getting answer L and E. So what they asked is, they asked us to display one by one. So if you want to display one by one, a very simple operation, make it as a for loop. For I in S3. Print it one by one. Got it? So this is how you can able to implement your set operation, guys. Directly make it as a set, implement it. Look at your output format. So output format is very much important here. Is this clear for everyone? Do you have any doubt in it? Come on, let me know if there is any doubt. Okay, fine. Okay, guys, I'll share you one question. You can take this as your task. Maximum digit character. Did we discuss this question in the class? I guess we didn't discuss it, right? So you can take this as your task. This is all about string concept, guys. You can take this as your task. This is a previous year question, previous year MPTQ question. You can work on it. I'll discuss this question by tomorrow. Okay, why do I use specifically set? So we know that set will not allow duplicate values, right? So if at all duplicate values is there, I don't want to make, don't want to repeat it. That's the reason I made it as a set. So got it. So once I make set, what happened? HELO will be taken, and the same way this will be subtracted from PYTHN. So when I'm subtracting this one, a common subtraction where the common value will be cancelled. O and H will be cancelled. So somewhere we are displaying only the S1 minus S2. So that these values will be displayed. And since this set is the unordered collection, there is no particular order is there. So this may give output in any order. Is this clear? Since for mainly for the duplicate values, you are making it as a set. Avoid duplicates. So keep in mind, whenever this concept rises, avoid duplicates, make it as a set. Duplicate will be removed. No need of writing any logic for it. Is this clear, guys? Will you try this question by tomorrow? Read this question. I given sample input and output also. You can try out this one. We'll discuss about this tomorrow. Okay, guys. Okay, ma.